Hi, Bartek from Prodio here. Today I'm going to show you the new refreshed look of the daily production report. Eventually I will still tell you how it works and where it gets the data from. The data is collected from your workers' work on the production schedule. They go first into the work history and then they are extracted and converted into analysis in the report. The report itself can be accessed in three ways. The first is to go on the report via a button on the announcements and the timeline on the production plan. It is displayed next to the time currently on the clock. The second way is to go into the work history and a new report button has been added in the work history at the top next to the other buttons that have been there so far. Here it is. And the last option is to go from the left menu in additional analysis. There the product tab the production tab will be updated. And the last option is to go from the left menu in additional analysis. There the daily production report tab will be updated and it will be shown in the additional analysis on the bottom, production daily report. After entering it, the report shows data from the current day. On the other hand, you can click on the date and select from the calendar any day on which data is available. I choose the 24th of February and it presents itself as forward. There are two charts with production, total hours, and production indicators. The sum of hours finds the sum of attendance time. That is how the workers was logged into the work in general. Next is a summary of the total hours worked when the worker was hammered on a particular task and worked on that task. The sum of normative time, such as an average, is specified in the product technology, how much production should take, and the time workers spent on pause. In the indicators, the productivity that was done, productivity of workers on tasks, the percentage of pauses, and the percentage of shortages. That is when workers reported shortages in a given order on a product. And so below the indicators is a table with the same data only in digital format that in report format. And so below the indicators is a table with the same data only in digital format. The indicator indicates the sum of attendance time and so below the indicators is a table with the same data only in digital format. Total working time while clocked into work, total pause time, percentage of pauses time compared to absence time, total time worked on tasks, productivity in percentage. It is calculated on the basis of time worked by the worker in relation to the total work. And the next option is workers' efficiency. This is based on the performance standard that is recorded in the technology of the product. In the last column of the table, we have the number of deficiencies, that is the total amount of shortages reported at a given time by workers, deficiencies in percentages, that are the shortages in the pieces to be produced, and the total of finished products produced on that given day on the production schedule. The following table available in the report is the summary by workers. For example, here we have separate tables by specific workers, each with his individual time at work that day. There are indicated pauses that a particular worker had while working, the time worked on the machine, the estimated working time that each worker should achieve during his work, and the productivity in percentage that the worker achieved. Green then shows the productivity that has been met, which is as positive as possible for the worker in question. If there was one indicated in the task, and the next one is the worker's efficiency in percentages. It is taken, as I reported earlier, from the technologies of the product, if such were already performed for a given time, which were supposed to be performed. If it was severely underestimated, it is definitely below, is marked in red. And at the end of the table we have a percentage of pauses and a percentage of deficiencies. Another table is a summary by machine or operation, and in this table we have a breakdown of the specific machines and the time that was on those machines worked. Setting time, if the match setting would be by technology for a given order. An estimated working time should be made in the working on a particular machine. The number of pieces made on the machine, pieces per hour that were made. That output is according to the output that should be made. Set up. Another label is efficiency in percentage per machine, and the setup time in percentage. This is a comparison including the time worked and how much percentage of the total working time was taken by the setting. And in the end, the same as with the workers' deficiencies for a given product. Only here is assigned directly to a particular machine. Below that are two more tables. We will start with the one on the left, clock in and clock out time. This is the data that is pulled from the registration of entries, exits and pauses of workers from the RCP. And in this table we are able to find the total time that a given worker has been at work, pause, that time pause and chronological separation, when was the entry, when was the pause, and where was the exit. And this is broken down for each worker separately. And in the table next to that one is the work history. Here is indicated the worker's work history, on which product he worked, which machine, which task it was, what was the total time worked on all order, what was the difference in time between passes for a given machine, when was work. And the following table is work history. Here is indicated the worker's work history, on which product he worked, which machine, and which task it was, what was the total time worked on all orders, what was the time difference between passes for a given machine, when was work on a given order started, and when was that work stopped, what was the total amount of work on a given machine on a given order, the number of pieces produced, and the total number of deficiencies and comments, if any. And it's broken down the same way for each individual worker as in clock in and clock out time. The last important thing for the report, equally important as the whole report, is the option to print it when you press the printer button on top. There is an option to print this in entire classic paper format or as a PDF. And with this you will show your workers the time requirements you have for them to improve their productivity. And that's really it from this tab so much. I hope you like the new daily report tab and that you will find this video helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We will be waiting for any inquiries and advice on possible improvements. All the best. Bye.